Sorry. We're live, aren't we? Whoops.
Excuse me?
So many things to do before we actually hit the go live button.
Yes, like what?
Oh, like, how's my hair look?
Great. Good.
Anyway, hey everybody, welcome to What the Friday. Great to have you
What
here.
the Friday?
What the Friday. We didn't come up with the title this week, but this title could have been, Does Dad have COVID? We're not sure.
Yeah, I'm 98% certain that you don't.
That's awesome. I am
think
too.
You haven't. I think that you haven't taken a break and your body is like, please, dear God, what do I have to do to get you to sit down and stop working?
It's my body's way of saying, you should watch more Netflix.
Exactly.
You need to binge on something for a while. But anyway, yeah, but it's good. Things have been busy, and they continue to. That's the weekly mantra: busy, busy, busy. But,
yeah.
So, cutting to the chase, if you don't mind,
I don't mind at all.
As you can tell, if anybody actually watches this, we don't really have a great plan.
That's not true. We do, and actually today, the reason we didn't jump off and start talking and title it something real estate-y is because we're trying to hack social media.
That's right. We can talk about that too. Special ad categories. So, do you want to talk about what's going on in the market right now from your perspective?
Yes, the fun facts I've learned,
or give us
what
the meat. Whatever you think. Let me have it.
Usually jump into your absorption numbers first.
All right. Well, let's jump into absorption numbers first. I'm ready for that too.
Okay.
All right. So when we talk about absorption rate, what we're talking about is how many units are available for sale versus how many are selling. So sometimes you go to market in a buyer's market, there's a lot of inventory and a lot of places to sell, but there aren't as many buyers. So buyers get to make better deals all the time. As an example, I have a deal that I think we're going to go get an accepted offer on today that's significantly below ask right along the river. And frankly, I coached my clients saying, I don't know how hopeful we can be on this. And they're the ones that said, COVID discount, let's not forget the COVID discount. And I said, okay, just managing expectations and I'll be damned. We're really close to what that offer was. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so absorption rate matters. And right now that the absorption rate that unit I'm talking about in is relative to this top graph in Hoboken. And you'll notice that see how it's been trending off the last 3 weeks. Each one of those bars, starting at the right to the left, is most recent to oldest. You can see how in the Hoboken area, we don't have as many buyers right now. And we have more units. So that's making supply high and demand low, which is squeezing some prices down and making for some great deals in Hoboken. But in northern New Jersey as a whole, which mainly includes suburbs, or what most New Yorkers would consider suburb areas, it's continuing to get hotter all the time. So if you're, people still want yards, they want a place for a grill, they want a place to park their car, and they're still going that way, and they're paying more all the time. There are a lot of bidding wars in the suburbs, and things are getting kind of pricey and pretty hot.
Bidding wars, yes. Almost everything's going above ask, and they're bidding between 6 to, actually more than that. But before I was saying 6 to 8 people are putting in bids, but often it's more. So
yeah, so it's really a fascinating time because the couple years prior to this, things were fairly stable and we weren't having to watch numbers so closely because they weren't changing that fast. But now they are, and it's really interesting. So
it is really interesting. The market value of homes that have a garage, a yard, a driveway, a private entrance is skyrocketing, and people aren't caring about commute either. So it's a different market than it has been for a long time, and in a way that no one could have predicted. So anybody kicking themselves for timing it all wrong or not expecting things to happen.
Exactly.
It's coming. So, okay. Now.
So moving right along. Like our heads need to be bigger.
That's really good. Yeah. Mine especially. All the time.
I'm humble.
That's why we were. No, we're really humble. We're really chill. We're chill
Yeah.
guys.
Ego and humility are all based on how close you are to your computer camera.
Oh no, it's pulling me in. I can't help it. Anyway, so speaking about the market and its bounce back in general at large. Compared with a year ago, contract signings were up 6.3%. So that's a sign of how sharply the market has rebounded since the coronavirus low, because this is not compared. It's not up 6.3% from last month. It's from last year when we didn't have a coronavirus problem. So it seems like everything was kind of bottlenecked, and then suddenly everyone who wanted to sign a contract finally could, and are doing that. That's in the city. And pending home sales in the Northeast region of the U.S. has risen. Have you read this already, Dad?
No.
Do you want to guess?
A lot.
Guess a number. 54%. I just realized I was like asking you to make yourself look stupid. Sorry.
What's new?
I'm
Happens
such an
a
asshole. Okay. So pending home sales.
I didn't say it.
You didn't have to. So the Northeast region rose 54% in how many home sales are now under contract, which is the biggest increase of anywhere else in the nation. But that's because we had the most severe lockdown, and also the most severe exodus to suburbs. That has a significant impact on what's going on. So a lot of people are selling, and a lot of people are buying because they're ready to change the way they live. I have the numbers for the Midwest, the South, and the West, but I don't know.
Are they all pretty similar?
That's relevant. They're all 12%. Yes, they're all basically 12%. They're only off by like 3.3%.
I think
Thank you, Dad, for making a way.
I think that's up though, because we're looking at looking for an investment property in Nashville, because Morgan's brother, my son, lives in Nashville and has a great career there. Yes. So we're trying to find a way to get a little closer to him and keep working at the same time. And what's interesting is that the prices are not decreasing there either. They're going up. So
yeah. Well, Nashville primarily, it does have more condo buildings now, but still its primary
single family
residential home is single family homes. So even those people working in the heart of the city are living in single family homes that aren't too far. So it seems like that's changing, but we'll see. Yeah. So if you're going to a city and you want a single family home in a city, that's kind of the place to be. Also, fun fact about our GDP, and then I'll stop.
Okay.
It's not definitive how much it collapsed in the last quarter, but the best estimate is 34.1% annualized, which is literally the deepest decline in output since the government started keeping records. It didn't break a past record to get here.
You wouldn't know it by looking at the stock market.
Yeah. Yes. Well, if everyone just keeps betting, which essentially is what the stock market is, you're just betting. Then
if people that are watching this, if you happen to watch this later and you comment, I'd love to hear your comments on that. Why in the world is the market, in your opinion, not other people's opinion, your opinion, why is the market going up like it is?
Yeah.
Look at it, 34%. Did you say 34%?
Decline in GDP.
Yeah, how can
annualized last quarter.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, stock market isn't based on fundamentals anymore. Which is so ironic, because like Benjamin Graham, The Intelligent Investor, that book, the whole thing is like, bet on the American economy, Warren Buffett style, and look at the fundamentals, not what everyone is doing. So
I think that may prove out.
When?
I don't know.
It's like
I'm starting.
Never ending.
I belong to the American Association of Individual Investors, and there's a book called Level 3 Investing, which is kind of the Buffett Graham theory, but how to actually implement it in today's economy. So I'm looking at that, and I haven't started using the information that I'm reading in that yet, but I plan on, I think I'm going to abandon the indexes and try to do some individual stuff.
Really?
But I haven't had time. We've been too busy with real estate. I've been too busy
Also,
making money.
Graham and Buffett, I mean, I guess Buffett personally invests individually, but he encourages most people just bet on the American economy in general, S&P 500.
Generally, I would agree with that. But
Well, I guess it depends on your timeline because you're thinking about taking money out sooner. For me, who cares? Just keep putting in the same amount every month.
Yeah, I think so. But, I'm 58. I'm looking at retirement. I'd like to maximize it. I think we're in a bit of a bubble right now. So I'm actually thinking about shifting what I do have invested back into cash, dollar cost averaging some of it. But that's we could have an investment program.
Yeah, we could. No, we couldn't. We are not experts. We're such amateurs. We shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah, that would be really bad. Okay.
It would be cool to have us be taught, online. But
yeah.
Okay, those are my fun facts. That and the fact that Reology revenue decreased 27%, which.
So for the people listening, Reology is a conglomerate that owns a bunch of brokerages, right?
Yes.
So who do they own?
Franchises such as Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Zip Realty, Sotheby's, Better Homes and Gardens, Corcoran, and more. I don't know what the other ones are, but that's what I got.
That's a difference, kind of an interesting conversation topic. I don't know, interesting to me, maybe nobody else.
Yeah,
is that there's a difference in the type of brokerages that there are, and so Reology owns all those companies that Morgan shared, but they're all franchises, if I understand it correctly, which means you and I could decide we want to be a franchise, so we would go pay a franchise fee. They would give us some basic systems that we could use, and we get to use their branding. But we also run our own business, so our business can be completely different. What was the first one you mentioned? Was it Century 21?
I think so.
So our Century 21 may operate differently than the Century 21 up the block. They may have a completely different culture.
Right.
We run into that now. There are some brokerages that are still super old school and require you to come by the office and pick up the keys, which is nuts.
Not right now.
No, that's true. Not with COVID, but
maybe they'll permanently change their.
One of these brands that you mentioned does that in Hoboken in particular, and everybody knows who they are, and we all talk about it. And I think that their clients would be embarrassed if they knew how the other agents were talking about it. It's like, oh,
probably,
yeah.
But anyway, all that to say, Compass and who we were with previously, Douglas Elliman, are not franchises.
Right.
So there's a connectedness between all of the offices. And
pros and cons.
Yeah.
Obviously, we like that because we like the accountability and the fact that there's a mothership that if they don't like something, they let you know and they hold you accountable to it. And if, they're just, they run all the ships are heading kind of the same direction when it's a singly owned company like, Brown Harris Stevens and Halstead. Same thing, Compass, Douglas Elliman, they're that kind of company. Anyway, that's boring enough.
Solid. All right. Well, thank you to everybody for watching. Do you want to wait, Dad? Did you want to talk about something else?
I would. I don't know about you, but outside, we don't see it in these comments. But I've gotten a couple of emails, and then when I meet people that actually do watch what we're doing,
yes,
they ask, "What's it really like?" You guys, when you do your show, you seem like you get along super well. And you're really charming. You're really cute. I really like to watch it. But
is that rude of us to? Yes, we're charming. We're cute.
No,
Did they really say that, or you?
Yeah. To me, anyway, it's always about you. I don't know that they mean me.
I get compliments about you all the time and your presence on camera. But I'm like, dang it! I painted my whole face.
But I thought it might. Because I know that there are some other real estate teams out there that are like a mother-daughter, they're relatives just like us, and I thought it might be interesting to talk about. So if you don't mind, we're only 15 minutes into this. What would you see as the
Only.
biggest, I'm going to go both ways though, so warning, biggest benefit, or what do you like the most about being a father-daughter team?
At the end of the day, I have no fear that the priority is our relationship over anything else. So it's total and complete trust. So at the end of the day, no matter what, I know that you're on my team and I'm on your team. And my priority is our relationship as a father and daughter and friends. And second to that is our work. And that makes it so much better.
Cool. What do you think is the hardest thing?
You have to answer the benefit first.
Ditto.
No, that can't be your answer. Is that really your answer?
Well, I'll amplify it because in part, yeah, that would of course be my answer. The same thing is that I love working with my daughter, and any other dad out there that has a daughter or a son. This is like as good as it gets, I think. So working with the people you love the most and actually getting along is awesome. So that would be mine. I guess wrestling with struggles together with somebody that you love as much as I love you, or
that's a really good. It's like it really is. I mean, I structured my life around the idea. I mean, the reason I wanted to do this was the idea that in order for any human to be supremely happy, like the way we dream of, with this purpose-filled sense of life or whatever, it's a small group of. You have to be in a small group of people striving towards a common goal and be an essential member of that team. And that is why I wanted to do this with you, and why when we talk about building our team, I'm always like, I want to make sure it stays pretty small so that we're all essential and a family, even the people who aren't blood related.
Agreed.
Good point.
So the roughest side of it.
I don't.
Be honest.
I honestly don't know. Nothing. I don't know.
Oh, I can help with this one.
I'm sure you've got all kinds of cons. Go ahead, you go. I'll...
No. Come on, tell the truth. You can't get out of it. You get frustrated with me. What are the most frustrating things of being a father-daughter team?
Than I would with any other. But that's the thing. It's not about being in
Right.
business with you.
But what is it?
Freedom to be myself in our business than if I don't love authority, and the fact that we're equals in this makes it much better than like any other job or being on somebody else's team where they're in charge of me. You know, there's a point at which I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Let me out of here. Much like my relationships.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've decided I can't do this anymore. Click. Goodbye. Goodbye now.
Oh God. All right.
That's a whole other topic.
We can
talk about that. Let's talk about dating.
I regret making the joke. Okay.
That's the great thing.
Your turn. What's your biggest?
I think the biggest thing I struggle with is tied to the best thing, which is we chose to be handcuffed together.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day that no matter what, you're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. We're going to work through it. In another relationship, you can say, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
Win-win or no deal.
You could still do that here if you wanted.
We could, but that's not part of our concept. So when we run into things like I'm more analog, you're more technologically based. And there are times you look at me and you're like, why are we doing this way? And well, this is what I know how to do. This is how I've always done things. So I'm just doing it because it's easier to do what I've always done than it is to learn something new. And you're like, it's not that hard.
That's so rare though. I think you're using that example so that you can be the one who's the villain in the story because you have people skills.
We both have that. And we run our lives differently. Yeah. You deal with you're stronger in some areas, you're weaker in others. I'm stronger in some areas, I'm weaker in others. There are things that you love to do that I'm just like, oh God, is there a way I can give this to you. Can you do this for me?
But I think that's good.
I
I mean, we're
hate
trying
this.
to figure out a way to send me out all the time, because I just would love it if I had to work from my phone or randomly pull over and put together a contract on my computer with using my hotspot. Like, I love chaotic, on the goes, nonstop, meeting lots of people days. That's my favorite thing.
Right.
And you like the office more and building the office culture and
Right. I'm really hungry for a more stable environment, and but I do want to grow our team family, which we have a new team member coming on.
Yes.
I think I said that last week, and I thought it was going to happen last week. It hasn't happened yet, but I think it's supposed to happen like right now, or might be happening as we speak. I don't know, but that's what we want in team members. I'm really hungry to have that little group of 4 to 6. My goal is to have 6 really great, very productive, all very different personalities that are generally pretty independent and working on their own, but having one central hub that we all work from, and trying to develop a culture so that we can cover each other and help our clients more, network. There's so much benefit to having a few other people that you're connected with, so that you can kind of cover bases, and all of a sudden your photography company can't take care of it. It's like, hey, I know this guy and he did this for me over here. Let me reach out to him and see if we can pull him into this deal. Okay. Networking, things like that. Construction, we run into that constantly with sellers that need help in their place, and building that network. You and I have kind of a network of service professionals that we're starting to build up, and is working out fairly well, but it's not a super deep pool. And if we end up with a team of 4, 5, 6 people,
right,
they've got people too. Plus, we're getting more business all the time, and it's getting harder to keep up. So we could really use a new agent or two that are looking to join a team, so they can learn a lot and have some access to business and get their feet wet quicker. So
hold on. You did a great job of all of that, and I realized that you kind of deviated from what you were going to say that was negative about us. You're saying that the negative thing about working with me is that you have no out. Just making sure that's what you were saying.
No, I wouldn't say it's negative. I'd say it's hard. It's hard when it's like, if it was another agent, I just wouldn't have to deal with it. And with you, I'm like, okay, how are we going to, because we're doing this together.
Yeah.
I don't get to just blow it off. I have to think about it. Like, you and I are talking about.
Oh, you mean the accountability that comes with working together. Okay, I follow you now. This makes sense.
So just like our What the Friday video that we're doing right now, I have a concept of what this What the Friday video should be. Morgan has a concept of what it should be. They're not the same thing. They're close, but they're not the same thing. So she continues to anchor what she believes in. I continue to anchor what I believe in. And then every week it morphs a little bit, but then a little more sticks. And, if it was just 2 agents, unless they had great chemistry, they might do a few of them and then say, I'm going to move on. And you and I,
move on.
and
Which
we've
is the same. You're right. That's my pro. But the con of it is the accountability, which is also the pro.
Right. So there are pros and cons there. And yeah, that's it. Just plus your father or daughter, you have expectations. There are things that you expect from me. There are times I treat you like a daughter, not like a partner, and times you treat me like a dad, not like a partner.
I would say that we're very good at being like, oh, what? Every once in a while you do it. It's actually really rare that you treat me like an inferior, like a daughter that you're training.
But it happens.
Every once in a while you'll do it, and I'm like, excuse me? Whoa, what? And we move right past it. Same way that I sometimes treat you like a petulant child. I'm the petulant child. And then you're like, you are my partner. What's happening? And I'll be like, yeah. You're right. I need a nap. Much like a kid. Let me nap and then we'll talk about this.
So, yeah. So it's not bad. So we get along. And for those of you wondering, it's really great. There are some wrestling matches every once in a while, but
that's why I like it, because we
do
that. We mentally wrestle with each other, which I mean is part of my whole upbringing as well.
I think you're
megas and
freezing
years
up.
and stuff. Oh,
Whoops.
well,
Whatever. So that was enough of that.
Whatever.
So I hope that answered,
That's
for those of you that have asked that or mentioned that before, I hope that answers the question. And we would love to hear
I'm
more
sure
from
that
you, though.
wanted to hear a 15-minute spiel about it.
You know, the good thing is we went through the business part first, so we could share
Yes, we
basically what's
did.
going on in the market, and then they
That's
can
right.
they can like
Dip out if they
get rid
want
of
to.
us anytime they want to. So
Yeah, hey, please like, follow, subscribe, friend, comment. Your comments and your likes help so much because we're trying to figure out, we do these shows and we're kind of ballparking it between 20 and 30 minutes every Friday in a podcast style. We have a podcast version of this too if you want to listen to it. It's called Burch and Burch Real Estate on Apple Podcast and all your podcast formats, except maybe Spotify. I have to double check that. And we would love to know what parts of this matter to you and what you care about, like what fun facts are fun and what aren't, and all that. So please like, comment, subscribe.
amen. Shake a bake.
Preach.